99 cents only represents a substantial retail operation along the West Coast, boasting approximately 370 stores that appear headed for extinction. Recent reports confirm the company has entered bankruptcy proceedings and plans to close all its locations. The business carries overwhelming debt obligations, forcing management to liquidate all assets in an effort to satisfy creditors. While there's speculation about potential investors attempting to preserve some Southern California outlets, the outcome remains uncertain, and such efforts wouldn't stop the majority of closures anyway. The chain story begins in Southern California back in 1982, expanding to roughly 75 stores before venturing beyond state borders in 1999. That year marked their first Nevada location in Las Vegas. Arizona followed in 2001, and 2 years after that, they launched an ambitious Texas expansion that ultimately underperformed. They purchased a massive 741,000 square foot distribution center, planning numerous stores throughout Houston and Dallas, but miscalculated market appetite for their concept. Despite nearly withdrawing from Texas early on, they persisted until now, apparently. These stores stand out through distinctive visual elements, vibrant colors, brilliant lighting, and a recognizable floor plan that's caught the eye of various creative professionals. Most notably, Adam Sandler's character dances through one in the film Punch Drunk Love. Jimmy Kimmel Live featured a memorable comedy segment where rapper 50 Cent held a back-to-school promotion at what was dubbed the 50 Cent Store. In 1999, photographer Andreas Gursky captured an iconic overhead image of the aisles that was later displayed at the Museum of Modern Art before selling at auction for over $3 million, a record-breaking sum for photography at that time. Despite operating exclusively within 4 states, these stores achieved remarkable cultural penetration, making them familiar to viewers nationwide. This analysis explores the chain's downfall through what I consider the 5 primary contributing factors. Quick favor, if you found this video interesting, subscribing helps us cover more rise and fall stories like this. Kindly do please. The pandemic. The CEO himself cited it as a major factor in the closures, releasing a statement acknowledging this as an extremely difficult decision that didn't align with their hopes or expectations. While that statement carries emotional weight, I question how genuinely surprising this outcome truly was. The chain has faced difficulties for an extended period. Their latest publicly available numbers from 2016, well ahead of the pandemic, revealed substantial losses. In both 2017 and 2019, they negotiated debt restructuring agreements where they apparently exchanged partial company ownership to creditors for debt forgiveness, indicating existing struggles with their financial obligations. Then in 2021, Moody's reduced their credit rating, signaling decreased confidence in their debt repayment capacity. This bankruptcy filing shouldn't have shocked anyone monitoring the situation closely. Yes, the pandemic certainly created additional challenges, but I'd characterize it as delivering the final strike rather than being the fundamental cause. Market competition. I should note that 99 cents only has consistently excelled at distinguishing itself from rival dollar stores. Their typical location spans approximately 16,000 square feet, roughly double the standard size. This additional square footage primarily accommodates their extensive food selection. I'd characterize it as a hybrid between a dollar store and a grocery market, maintaining most recognizable brand names. Historically, food and beverages have accounted for roughly 50% of their revenue. Beyond that, they're recognized for superior cleanliness and organization, perhaps even a touch more upscale, if that description fits. They've never deliberately targeted low-income neighborhoods, as traditional dollar stores might. In fact, their top-performing store sits near Beverly Hills. However, at its core, it remains a dollar store competing primarily on price, and economies of scale prove crucial for cost reduction. Generally speaking, higher volume purchases from suppliers translate to larger discounts, correct? Operating across just 4 states means 99 cents only simply doesn't match the scale of national dollar store competitors. Take Dollar General. For instance, they operate over 20,000 locations, making them more than 50 times larger by that measurement alone. Additionally, given their focus on food products, they're also competing against major discount grocers like Walmart or Aldi, encountering the same scale disadvantage. Add online retailers to the mix, and the challenge intensifies. Elevated costs mean 99 cents only struggles to generate profits at competitive price points. Inflation challenges. Inflation creates particularly complex problems when your exact price point is literally part of your store's name. The chain was founded by Dave Gold, whose parents emigrated from Russia to the United States and established a liquor store in downtown Los Angeles during his childhood in the 1940s. He worked there from an early age, and following his father's death in the 1960s, he assumed control of the business. That's when he discovered that merchandise moved significantly better when priced at precisely 99 cents. He went as far as calling it a magic number, a psychological phenomenon where nines make items appear less expensive to shoppers. While nearly everyone employs this pricing strategy now, he built an entire enterprise around it. At age 50, in 1982, he believed so strongly in this concept that he launched the first 99 cents only store. Over the years, the number 9 became deeply embedded in company culture. New store openings featured a tradition of offering 19-inch televisions to the first 9 customers for 99 cents. Standard operating hours ran from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Most advertising campaigns incorporated nines in inventive ways. When they went public in 1996, it's remarkable that Dave Gold demanded the initial stock price end in 99 cents. They claimed to be the first major chain selling all merchandise at a single price point. Everything was 99 cents at that inaugural store. But consider this. According to inflation calculators, 99 cents in 1982 equals $3.18 today. You can see how this becomes impractical. By 2008, profits had declined and pressure mounted to make adjustments. So that year, for the first time in 26 years, they increased their pricing to 99.99 cents. Yes, that barely makes sense. I find it more confusing than helpful. There was even a class action lawsuit filed about it, though effectively it meant items now cost $1. Their CEO at the time amusingly mentioned being aware of only one customer who purchased a watermelon for $1, thinking it would be 99 cents. They offered a return, but the customer kept it, saying it remained a good value. You might wonder how much difference 1 penny could possibly make. Well, it represented a 1% price increase, and with $1.2 billion in sales, that theoretically generates an additional $12 million annually. Combined with favorable economic conditions, things did improve following the price adjustment. Still, I'm including it on this list because over time they were compelled to price items above $1, meaning the 99 cents gimmick and entire store theme lost much of its impact. It's reached a point where the name itself arguably constitutes false advertising. The buyout. In 2011, it was announced that a private equity firm along with the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board would acquire 99 cents only in a deal worth $1.6 billion. The deal was partially leveraged, adding hundreds of millions in debt to the company. Dave Gold had famously shunned debt, once stating, "I have a theory about credit. I think it's bad for the country." He recounted being advised to borrow money to build credit, but felt uncomfortable doing so and repaid it within days. Throughout his ownership, he maintained the company completely free of long-term debt for most of its history. In the early years, he opened new locations by reinvesting profits. The 1996 IPO sold 1/3 of the company publicly and generated capital to amplify expansion efforts. It's genuinely impressive building something so substantial relying solely on earnings and equity sales. My point, there was zero debt entering this deal, and suddenly it approached $1 billion in debt, resulting in approximately $60 million in annual interest payments. That certainly didn't improve matters. Today they're filing bankruptcy and liquidating stores to satisfy debts, most of which wouldn't exist without this buyout. It's reasonable to conclude they'd still be operating if this deal hadn't occurred. New management. My final factor connects closely with the previous one, but I must place substantial blame on the new ownership. Before the sale, this was a family operation. Founder Dave Gold remained actively involved approaching age 80, while his son-in-law Eric Schiffer served as CEO. His son Jeff Gold held the president and COO positions, with various other roles filled by family members. I have to believe significant pride was involved, and they operated using proven principles established by Dave Gold decades earlier, utilizing relationships he'd built with suppliers and similar advantages. Sale reports indicated all these family members would retain their positions. However, about a year later in early 2013, they all departed. I believe they were pushed out. The chairman at the time stated the changes were designed to accelerate the company's growth strategy. To me, this suggests they recognized the need to scale operations for competitiveness and decided to bring in executives with experience doing that at other retailers. They kept appointing new CEOs, first a former Food Line executive, then someone from Dollarama, followed by a Kroger veteran. They immediately began opening dozens of new, smaller locations, seemingly because they required lower investment. There was a controversial $20 million annual cash dividend being distributed to owners, extracting money from a company clearly needing every dollar. I don't know, it was privately owned and difficult to determine exactly what transpired during this period, but the more aggressive strategy proved damaging. Profits decreased while debt increased, leading to repeated restructuring and ultimately bankruptcy filing. I should also mention that founder David Gold died suddenly from a heart attack just months after new management assumed control, which somehow made the changes feel even more definitive. Let me know your thoughts about 99-cent only stores in the comments. For those who visited them and grew up with them nearby, how do they compare to other dollar stores? Will you miss them? Unless some major development occurs, these stores won't be around much longer. This is essentially your final opportunity to visit. You might want to make it happen if it's convenient. I think this represents an interesting story that gradually becomes increasingly depressing, ultimately arriving at a sad conclusion. Still, it serves as a valuable case study if nothing else. Let me know if you agree and share any other thoughts about 99-cent only stores in the comments. I'd appreciate hearing your perspective. Thank you for watching.